Gather us in the lost and forsaken. Gather us in the blind and the lame.
All right, welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to another exciting edition of the Yooper Farmer Cigar Garage Talks with our special guest. Say hello.
Hello.
Greetings. And this is a special edition. It's part of our exchange student program. You're the one who came up with this. This is all you're acting like I'm not telling you anything.
I wasn't sure when you said special of the special of the special. So
Well, because it's a special because you're with me. It's the special of the special because it deals with the exchange students. So, what are we smoking? What are we drinking? What are you drinking? We really gotta get you smoking something one of these days. Even if it's brisket.
Got my soda stream bottle.
Ooh. See, that was a funny joke. Even if it's brisket, you didn't chuckle.
Who drinks brisket? Like, what is
No,
that?
you're still smoking it.
I know. Oh, smoke.
What do you get you to smoke something?
I thought you said drink something. Got it. That was really lame.
And I'm smoking tonight an A. Fiante Grand Reserve.
Fuente. Gran Reserva. Yeah.
I really wish cigars were more made in countries that don't have such hard languages to pronounce.
Well, I mean, if you learned the other languages, they wouldn't be hard to pronounce.
True story, which, maybe I'll work on that.
Well, that's our plan, isn't it?
For the drink, white chocolate blonde from Grand Armory Brewing. Right to Bear Craft. No idea. I think this one was on sale, so I have low hopes for it. Oh, my special mug. This will probably be my regular mug from this point on.
It's a lot smaller than your other one.
My other mug, yes. But I have a glass from them, which is even smaller. And it barely holds a 12-ounce beer, so. Nice amber ale. Very good. Let's see, it's got the white chocolate in it.
So you can't say enough good things about the Mystery Town. Is it Mystery Town?
Mystery Town, USA in Mackinac City. And hopefully it's spreading to other locations. They deal with all the cryptids, the urban legends.
Their idea is to essentially put into one place a selection of old Route 66 style, like,
Roadside attractions. Yeah, the roadside attractions.
and it is fun.
It's all based around urban legends and cryptids, and which is I like because some of those roadside attractions.
There's not all cryptids, though. I mean, there's aliens.
There's aliens,
and mermaids.
which is a cryptid.
Yeah, mermaid is a cryptid. Well, a cryptid usually walks on two legs, but
No, false.
I always
Even
think
Nessie is a cryptid.
Nessie.
Is a cryptid.
And you don't know how many legs Nessie has.
4 fins. Anyhow, I really like their establishment. Owner is very nice. Talked to him more than once.
He's always there when we go, actually.
Actually, the time before this, he was not. There was someone else there.
No, the time before this, he was there because the police officer came in and JJ was trying to pound on stuff. I very distinctly remember that because
I don't think maybe it was the owner. I didn't think it was the owner.
Yeah, that was
I thought the guy was skinnier. But anyhow, we're getting off topic, which is okay.
Yeah,
It's fun to do.
Well, it was partly on topic
It
because
was. That's
we
my
took
new...
our exchange student there.
So why tonight's video? What's the milestone we made?
Well, we made 2 weeks. Actually, that was a couple of days ago. We're a couple of days late, in fairness. But we decided that we should do a video at 2 weeks, 2 months, somewhere around 6 months probably.
Yeah.
And then...
Probably closer to 5 because that'd be the halfway point.
Yeah. And then right around the time that he's... Maybe right before, right after he leaves.
Yeah. Hopefully we will get our exchange student and not in front of the camera, but next to the camera. But I'm going to give him at least a month or 2 of learning or gaining confidence in his English. His English is actually really good.
English.
Especially as you're talking to a couple of the other exchange students. Like, granted, it was just kind of in passing. You know, their Englishes weren't.
You thought so?
I thought so. I thought
there were a couple I thought were fine, but yeah, actually, most of the people we've talked to are shocked with how well he speaks. Even when I took him shopping, there were a couple of store clerks who, were shocked with how good his speech was, as he was checking out and stuff, and he was talking to them, and they were impressed.
Which I'm glad, because I think if there was more of a language barrier, I believe a couple of our children would have.
Well, I think it would make things a little more complicated.
It would make things difficult without breaking stride. But yeah, very good. It's been an adventure. Been kind of fun to learn about his culture, but to learn about the differences. I talked about it in a video. I kind of did a quick little video. I don't know if it's posted yet when this comes out or not. We're gonna be zapping some bugs tonight again too. But yeah, it's very neat to find, like, the thing that shocked me is, like, he went in the cereal aisle. We went to the store, and he's making fun of our selection. Our selection of produce is quite lacking here in the good old UP. And but then he went to our cereal aisle, and he was just shocked, because he says where he's at, there's like 3 choices. There's the kids' choice, there's the teen choice, and then there's the old person choice. So.
Well, and everything pop, like they have one pop where he's from.
They have Coke and Coke without sugar, and then their local, like, state pop is almost how he described it. Don't shock yourself.
Right. Yeah, so, like, he is having, I think, a good time trying all our different flavors of pops and candy bars and sweet treats. But the Brazilian goods that he brought with him are definitely not as overpoweringly sweet as American sweets are. So I think we definitely take for granted in America that granulated sugar is healthier for you than they do in Brazil. Because there's some stuff that we've had that I'm like, that's sweeter here. Like, that is not. So he brought some sweetened condensed milk with him, and it is definitely not as sweet as our version of sweetened condensed milk, which is interesting. So his sweets, like, he's made us a few different treats that were delicious, but definitely more subtly sweet than what we're used to here.
Yeah, definitely. So that's been that's been really fun to see those differences. So he is sharing a room with Vashman, and as best we can tell, it's going good. And there's been no big blowouts or arguments, or
none of them are complaining. Neither is complaining about the other, and we've been, checking in pretty regularly.
Yeah, quite proactive with that one, because we want to kind of nip that in the booty before it becomes a problem. He's definitely gravitating towards Wild and Free Wolf, but she really is taking
and
an
Swedish
interest.
Compass.
And Swedish Compass. But Wild and Free Wolf has really taken a deep interest in Brazil, and especially their animals.
Yes. Well, in their culture, she's learning a lot of new words. And all that.
So, how are you feeling about this?
I mean, I think it's going really, really well. I want to say maybe it's actually going a little better than we anticipated. I might be wrong there. But I think it's going better than we anticipated. I think the kids are getting a lot out of it. I think he's doing very well, given that he's from a pretty good-sized family if you think about 4 kids in his family, but his older siblings are significantly older, like 20 years older, so he didn't really grow up with them in the same way. So, but he's doing very well with adjusting to such a large family, I think. And I have heard from his mom a couple of times that he's enjoying it. We did celebrate his birthday like 3 days after he arrived. he told her he loved all the gifts, that everything was wonderful and perfect, and that,
Good.
he's very happy.
I do wonder though if he enjoys going to school to get a bit of a break.
Yeah, right.
As we talked about, he has to go to public school. We homeschool. That first day was interesting. I think we both kind of agreed there was this, I don't know, phenomenon. At one point, it was kind of sad to see him go to school, but at the same time, it was also kind of nice to, like, be just our core group again.
Yeah, ourselves.
Because as much as we try not to change anything we do, or how we act, or what we say, or to give them that true full-on American experience, I think we do temper ourselves in some.
A little bit.
Not horrible, but I mean it's just like, I forget, the Jurassic Park 2 talked about it. The study, when you start to research something, you change it. So when you start putting in a variable, you're going to change a little bit. But we have been really fighting hard to make sure we don't do anything too extraordinary, too out of the ordinary. Although to be fair, we do a lot of extraordinary and out of the ordinary crap all the time.
Right. So traveling has been a little bit of an adjustment.
Traveling's been an adjustment.
Because now we take 2 cars everywhere, which in some ways is nice because the kids can spread out a little bit more in the car. And that's actually kind of inconvenient because, if one kid is getting on another kid's nerves, then they can ride in a separate car later. So that's been kind of, I don't love it, but I don't mind it.
I mean, it definitely, early on, we, I don't want to say one of the biggest fears or one of the biggest problems with using 2 vehicles came up rather quickly. We were coming home from Mackinac Island, or Mackinac City, where I got the Cup. I had the 2 littles with me because they're usually a bear on the trip home.
Well, and you drive a little bit faster, so I knew you'd get home faster, so I figured it'd be better to have you home, get the littles home, get them in bed before we got the rest of the kids home.
And I got the phone call every husband, father.
I was very, direct that we were fine.
I knew you were.
That was the first thing
You
I
had no
said.
panic in your voice when you called.
Right.
But yeah, homeschooling mama here struck a deer. Cade, the little fawn, dented in.
It was little too. I feel bad. It was probably maybe 100 pounds, 65 pounds.
Oh, if it was 100,
It was probably about the size of our dog, honestly.
Yep.
And I felt terrible more because of the kids being in the car, and I don't know what his handle is going to be. Brazilian dude.
Brazilian dude. He
So,
actually told me what it is.
yeah. Oh, he has one.
Yeah, he does have one, but it's quite lengthy, and it's yes, you can turn that.
It's probably in Brazilian
Yeah,
or Portuguese.
it's in Portuguese, so
So anyway,
Brazilian dude might work.
So he is almost narcoleptic in the car. I don't know if it's happened with you when he's riding with you for any extended length of time, but he has multiple times now on me fallen asleep in the car. Like, he is just so comfortable in the car, I guess, that he starts to doze off. And so, because we went to Kitchitikipi, and he fell asleep on the way home.
Big Springs.
Big Springs.
Really call it by the actual name.
That is the actual name.
You did good this time.
Anyway, he fell asleep on the way home, and I think he might have fallen asleep on the way there.
Probably.
When we drove over there. So he tends to doze off. So he was talking to the kids, and so he rides in the front seat most of the time because he is taller than anybody else, so it seems fair. And he must have dozed off, and this little fawn, I don't know, I saw it, I started to slow down, and then I started to kind of try to go around it. And it wasn't like a sudden and fast swerve. But it was enough that he woke up, and poor fairy dancer was sitting in the middle seat, so she got to see everything. And I kind of swerved and I thought I was going to miss it. And of course, just like most of these animals, it decided to turn its whole body around suddenly and walk into the car. So there really was nothing I could do to avoid it. And, you know, I hit it, and you could feel it under both the front and the back tires, which didn't help.
Nope.
And Fairy Dancer had seen eyes. She felt that she was seeing eyes. Now, we had gone to Mystery Town, USA, which is a little scary.
It's a little creepy, a little scary.
You know, they have the Dog Man and they have the Bigfoot. Their attractions or whatever, they change, but usually they stay that way for several months at a time, I think. So they have changed, but they had a Dog Man and they had a Bigfoot,
yeah.
and probably the aliens were the next creepiest. So anyway, Fairy Dancer thought that she was seeing eyes in the side of the forest following us most of the way home anyway. So she was very alert.
Yeah.
And so she was a little freaked out when I hit the fawn. And of course, I stopped. I pulled over. I couldn't see the fawn by the time I was able
Well, it was dark. I mean,
and
it was late.
dark.
It was like 10 o'clock at night.
Yeah, it was dark. And so I was like, okay, well, everybody's okay. So I got out of the car and I walked around. But you can't see anything really in the dark, especially with the headlights. So I was like, okay, whatever. I got back in the car, and our exchange student did a very good job. Like, he wasn't freaked out. He was like, this happens kind of thing. And took it like a true Youper, in my opinion.
Well, the kids actually were funny because they said that's one of your first badges of.
Yep, that helps make you a Youper.
Yeah, it makes you a Youper. That was one of the first Youper badges he got, was being in a vehicle that struck a deer.
Right. So yeah. So he did a really good job. And then Savannah, Swedish Compass, was trying to make Fairy Dancer feel better, and she, Fairy Dancer's talking about the eyes in the woods and stuff, and Swedish Compass is like, don't worry about it. If anything, it'll go after Vashman and our exchange student because they're bigger and they're going to provide more meat. And without missing a beat, he's sitting in the front seat and he says, thanks for that, Swedes.
Right.
And it was so cute. So he fits in really well. Like he has a really funny personality, and he gets their jokes.
Yeah.
And he gets them too. He gets them going. Like he completely convinces them the way that they convince each other sometimes. So they seem to be getting along really well.
Good.
But yeah, football is an experience for all of
Football is
us.
definitely an experience. Yep. He was talking as an uncle or cousin was an exchange student, and he was talking with whoever this was. I forget the relation. I think it's actually changed when talking to him. So I don't know if it's just a language.
I think he told me uncle, but
I thought it was uncle, but then at one point I thought he said, well, anyhow, they were an exchange student to the U.S., and he asked me, what should I do? What should I... I'm pretty sure his uncle is the one who said he should try chili, because that was like chili and macaroni were the two foods like he wanted to try. And then he said, the uncle said his one deepest regret was that he never got to play American football because...
he was too scared.
He was too scared. And in Brazil, it just doesn't, that's not a thing.
It's not popular. It is not a thing, no. American football is kind of
So even though I would not have pegged our Brazilian boy as a football...
He's really mild-mannered and stuff.
That was the one thing he landed, and I think that that Monday after he landed, he said the one thing he wants to do is go play football, so...
Well, and he had mentioned it because I was WhatsApping with him before he got here.
Yeah, but some of that, I mean, just from the language difference, I was kind of like, I don't think he actually, I think he's more like, because we also talked about joining the church group, and he's like, yes, I want to do that. And then we talked when we got here, he's like, no, that's
I think he's still not sure on that one. But, yeah, so anyway, I took him to a practice because some of these, like, if you've never seen football, which he has never seen American football before, so we went to a practice, and so we had gone to the meeting, the parent meeting, and of course it's a small town. And so all of the coaches, the assistant coaches, the helpers of the coaches, the team captains, everybody knew that that there might be a Brazilian kid joining the team, and that he was quite tall, which was something I had mentioned. So I walk over there with him because Uberferner was working. So I took him down to practice, and oh my goodness, it was like they all pegged us. They knew exactly who was coming.
Yeah.
And
I
like
called ahead and said, look for the dwarf and the giant.
right, look for the dwarf and the giant. So anyway, so they all were like greeting him and we've been waiting to meet you.
And I'll give for a football team, they are, and I have low regards for football teams. That's a story for another video. I mean, just welcoming and greeting and
they're super
accommodating.
friendly.
Yeah.
And I don't know if they're friendly to everybody in their school, because in my experience, usually football players are really good with other football players and not necessarily so good with other kids
Right.
in their school. But I don't know, some of them are. So, but regardless, he really likes the team. He feels very welcomed. He's enjoying it. I think he's doing well. He hasn't played in an actual game.
Yep.
The first 3 days he came home from practice and he had this "mommy help me, it hurts"
Right, it hurts everywhere.
kind of thing.
I think we're buying Tiger Balm in stock.
Right. He said it helped a little bit. So so he's definitely feeling the change of exercise, because while I would say that he's not he's definitely not a lazy kid. He
No.
definitely goes hiking and walking and stuff. But
Football is another animal.
football is an entirely different kind of sport, because it's so physical and so aggressive and violent, and it's a full impact sport. It's one of the kind of like hockey. It's one of the few sports where you're like, the whole point is to
make contact.
make contact. So he's doing. I think he seems to be enjoying it, and
If he's not laid it on at all.
no.
So I give him credit for that.
And
He's
I
sticking it
wouldn't
out.
make him keep up with it if he wasn't
No.
enjoying it, because honestly, why?
I mean, I suppose we should talk about the first 48 hours where we almost killed our exchange student. So
We didn't almost kill him.
So, this was bad timing on our part, and at the time we thought it was actually the best timing ever. So he took off on Tuesday. It's just neighbors fighting.
So weird to hear that.
Yeah, as long as they're not chasing other dogs after our chickens.
Right.
We hit the pause and check that out. He left at 10 o'clock on a Tuesday.
Okay, well, his flight was 10 o'clock on a Tuesday. He got to the airport at 5 that night.
Mm-hmm.
So his flight began at 10, and he arrived here at 3:30
Yeah,
p.m.
it was 3:30 p.m.
the next day.
The next day. So Wednesday he landed at 3 or 4-ish.
Yeah, so he was in airports or on a plane for 22
20-ish
hours.
hours,
So the kid was exhausted.
Yeah, and then, but the problem was that night was like the picture perfect bonfire
Yeah.
night, and
But I think that was good.
that was good. What did we have for dinner that night, though? It was that hamburgers? Yeah, we did hamburgers. Was the first
He
meal.
requested hamburgers.
He
Yeah.
requested, so we did hamburgers, which are American hamburgers, so a little saltier, a little.
Well,
And
yours
I
are
really
too
like
salty.
I like hot sauces, and I was actually shocked to find out that hot sauce is not a thing apparently in Brazil. Like, it's not like peppers are, because he asked, he said, is there anything you want to bring? His mother learned that we do jamming, and that's like our business, so our side business. So she sent a cashew.
Yes, the cashew fruit. Canned cashew.
Canned cashew fruit, because that's
Which nobody, I think it tasted really good.
it was good.
an
It was different. It was an odd
flavor.
flavor. I thought the cashew fruit was poisonous. Maybe it's just the skin. I know some part of the cashew you're not supposed to. But what I mean, it was delicious. I didn't mind it at all. And he asked, "Is there anything else?" Well, Wild and Free Wolf and a couple other of the kids told him that, well, Dad loves hot sauces, and the thing that he would love the most, and it's true, had I gotten a Brazilian hot sauce, that would just be like that.
But they don't exist apparently.
They don't exist. He's like, they like, he talked in one of the emails, he talked about maybe like bringing some peppers if he was allowed, some hot peppers.
Mm-hmm. Well, and he said, he's like, they eat spicy food, but it's like fresh spice.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like, they add hot peppers or whatever to their dishes, but they don't have hot sauce.
So he was very interested in trying American hot sauces, which I have, 2 jars open at any given time, if not more.
In abundance.
So he had some hot sauce with his hamburger and fries, 2 different types. He seemed to enjoy it. He said he liked it. I think that might have been polite because his use of hot sauce has kind of decreased quite a bit. Still puts on some of his food, so power to him, whatever. And then, well, that night, I mean, again, perfect bonfire. How American is that, sitting around burning stuff?
So he had a s'more.
S'mores apparently are not a thing. Marshmallows, at least are marshmallows.
Well, there's marshmallows in her chocolate, and
Yep.
there's, I think, graham crackers even.
Mm-hmm.
But they don't put them together like we do, apparently. That's new.
Well, and their marshmallows are more traditional, so they're a thicker marshmallow. Versus, he was talking about how ours are really fluffy. He wants to bring a bag of marshmallows home because they're so fluffy and so sweet that theirs are very...
Well, and we
thick.
discussed that
Yeah.
their stuff is not as sweet as
Yeah,
ours.
so that's one of his things we got to send him home with or ship him a bag of marshmallows. That'd be good because that's light. That'll ship easy. But so we had s'mores. Well, it just so happened we thought this was perfect timing. He flew in one day before the state fair kicked off.
Well, we always go on a specific day.
We go on
to the fair.
we go on a specific day. That Thursday of fair we usually go, and it's like, okay, it's perfect. We can, he comes in just in time. We'll take him to the state fair and go have fun and whatnot. He'll love it. We just know he'll love it.
Well, and I did ask him, and he was very excited.
He was excited because if he didn't want to go, we would have
we would have
figured
adjusted.
it out. Yeah, but
And even when he got here, he was totally like,
he
yes.
saw the fair being set up when we were driving
Yeah.
home. He was super excited. Our kids are very good at pushing people past their limits, though, when it comes to rides.
To their limits.
To their limits and beyond. Kind of Buzz Lightyear. Plus, I mean, when you're at a fair, you gotta have fair food. So we had elephant ears, we had frozen treats.
Really, it was just elephant ears and the ice cream.
And the ice cream at the fair, yeah.
And then he rode all but, well, he didn't ride any of the like little kiddie rides, of course, because he's way too tall. But he rode all but 3 of the rides, I think. And they were the 3 most intense rides. The kids wanted to ride a couple of them.
Yeah, but a thunderstorm rolled
But a
in.
thunderstorm came in, and by the time the thunderstorm finished, we're like, yeah, no, we're done. We're out. Let's go home.
And then what other American? We had another. Well, we had the American breakfast.
Yeah. Oh yeah, they don't eat big breakfasts
Yeah,
there. They're
that
like
was-
toast and butter,
Yeah, so we had a full size lumberjack breakfast.
which we always do.
We always do, that's really-
That's just standard for our family. We eat a big breakfast. And he loves the big breakfast. That's what he
Yeah.
told me. He actually really appreciates that. Like that's a thing. I think he's gonna go home wanting
Yeah, I wanted to
for a while.
continue. So then that night, I forget what we had. It was another real American.
We had macaroni and cheese,
Cheese for
because that was
lunch.
one of the few meals
Yeah.
like he specifically asked
Yeah,
for. He
lunch we had
wanted
mac and
macaroni
cheese. I forget what we had for dinner. It was
I
another.
think the macaroni and cheese was dinner.
Was it dinner? That was
Be-
dinner. I
don't
thought that
know.
was lunch. Maybe not. Maybe
I-
getting them mixed up. Anyhow,
I don't know.
that night.
I think it was pizza at one point.
Ooh, that sounds, pizza sounds very familiar. Anyhow, that night into the next day, he had to pop a bunch of
took some-
antiemetics and
Well, okay,
He's
so you
curled
have
up
to
in a
go back a
ball.
little bit because this from what we were explained from Uber Farmer's sister who went to Brazil is that you don't drink the water. Like they do not drink the water. So he has, like, from the moment he walked into our door, has been guzzling the
Just-
water from the sink and the refrigerator and just drink.
Worse than that, our water, it's from an artesian well, which is considered to be one of the like premier, even in the U.S. Artesian water is considered the premier of water. It's hard as hell. It's got minerals and calciums and well, probably diesel fuel and whatever else our neighbor dumps in our side yard. But I mean, it's high quality water. So yeah, he drinks that more than.
Oh
I mean,
my
like,
goodness, yeah.
and well, this is the other thing. The kids found out he's never really had flavored pops, so they had me go buy, cherry Pepsi and
He's had
Mountain
orange
Dew
pop before.
and
He's,
yeah, we had Mountain Dew and we had Sierra Mist, and by the way, you gotta try that. It's creamy white chocolate. It's actually pretty tasty. Yeah, you didn't scowl, so it's.
I mean, it's not something I'd be like, I want a 6-pack, but it's not bad.
But yeah, so we we found him kind of curled up in a ball.
He got a bit of a stomach ache from the American.
The American, so because we hit it hard with the American sweet treat, and we bought Reese's peanut butter cups because he brought a candy that's like him,
Yeah.
and then he wanted
Well,
to
we
try
got him
ours.
one though. It's not like we gave him like.
He had more than one.
No, we only bought him one.
I know. Well, we bought the pack of 8. And
Oh no! When we started, we only bought him a single candy bar.
we bought others too.
Oh.
So anyhow,
I don't know.
Regardless, I felt really bad, but apparently he was warned that this was
This was a likelihood.
this was going to happen.
Well, and he's not used. Well, it's weird because they eat fried foods, but he was quite comical because he was like, Americans, you fry everything.
And it was, I mean, summer we do a lot more fried food because it's just, I don't know, it's easier, doesn't heat up the house as much, and it goes great with hamburgers that we cook on the grill. It goes great with bratwurst that we cook on the grill. It goes great with the smoker because we smoked a bunch of. That was the other thing I think kind of.
I think that was days later though.
That might have been days later, but so anyhow, I frantic phone call to my sister, and what can we do? And so she said rice and chicken, and the boy eats, he does good. We put rice and chicken in front of him, and he did much better. He killed that. So chicken.
He was so happy to see rice on the dinner table. It was cute.
Oh yeah.
And it's not unusual for us to eat rice. We actually eat it quite frequently, usually at least once or twice a week. So, I mean, it was.
But again, that's more of a winter dish. We usually do rices more in the winter than we do in the summer.
Well, because we do tacos with rice. We do like a sweet and sour chicken and rice.
Chicken, sweet and sour pork. Although that was really funny. He talks about the stuff we fry, which is true. We even went to the carnival, or was that the carnival? Was that Mackinac City, where
Fair.
yeah, was it the fair where they had the fried booth? And I was like, here, I told you.
Oh, the fried ice cream, yeah.
Fried ice cream. They had fried candy bars, and it was a fry shack.
We didn't get any of that.
We didn't get any of that. We
We're
showed
like,
them
yeah,
to it.
no, we're not getting any more fried food right now.
Well, and what was interesting is, okay, we kind of told the kids we're going to try some lighter, easier meals for a couple of days. And so the girls were like, well, let's do sushi. He's like, I absolutely love sushi. It's my favorite thing. Like, okay, so he never made his own, but our daughter showed him how to make it. And it came up. He's like, well, aren't you going to fry this? And we're like, yeah, right, Americans, we fry everything, right? You're going to fry our sushi. He's like, no, that's a thing in Brazil. Fried sushi is a thing. And I've traveled all throughout
I've
the
never
US.
heard of fried sushi.
Never in my life
That's
have I ever
hilarious
heard.
though. Like and I asked him if they batter it, and he's like, no.
Well,
But
he
then
did admit
he
later
did say,
added
yeah,
it.
they have a flour mixture
Yeah,
they put on
they
it,
put
which
on it.
makes complete sense because if you don't, then it wouldn't fry right.
Maybe it'd fry
I don't
right.
think, but
I'm going to throw some in the deep fryer.
oh my
try.
gosh,
That might be American
I was
food.
shocked. I was like, really, you guys, you fry the one healthy?
The one thing that Americans look at is like, okay, let's, whole vegetables and raw fish. We didn't do raw fish. We have never done raw fish, but you just think of it as being a much more healthy.
A healthier meal, yeah. Oh, and so which was funny, like his entire response. So, we came into this expecting that, his diet is probably a lot higher in fruits and vegetables than ours. And it turns out, and maybe a Brazilian diet is, but his is not.
His is not.
He does not seem to like fruits and vegetables. And we've tried a bunch of different kinds of fruits and vegetables, and he's just not, like, no apples. He doesn't really eat apples.
Doesn't like grapes. Doesn't like apples.
Not grapes. He'll eat strawberries, but not a lot of them.
Bananas are not.
He won't touch banana.
Won't touch banana. Which is unfortunate because that is like our staples: is apples, grapes, and bananas are the things we almost.
Strawberries, yeah.
In some form, well, strawberries less so because those go bad so quick.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean the staple fruits that we have in the house, just as like they're laying around. If kids want them,
yep.
grab them.
And well, and that's what's available here too. Like the most, accessible. And it just doesn't seem to be his thing. But I've offered specifically, like, what is there something else you would like us to buy? And like even today, I had all the kids sit down at the table because, I was doing the shopping order. And I asked, is there anything you guys want me to add? I'll add it. And Swedish Compass, we were given, oh my gosh, I think the old farmer we know at the farmer's market gave us maybe a pound or so.
Oh, it was a couple pounds of those cherry tomatoes.
His special cherry tomatoes. And I have to admit, like, between Swedish Compass and I think we ate all of them.
Yeah, damn near.
Like, oh my gosh, they were amazing.
You should have saved a couple for seeds. I tried to warn you.
I should have. It was just too hard to wait. They were delicious. Like, I like tomatoes, but these were, oh my gosh, good. And so I asked, Swedish Compass was like, oh, I'd like to get some tomatoes. I'm like, well, they're probably not going to be as good as
they'll be garbage compared to them.
as the old farmer we know. But so he did tell me then, he's like, oh, well, I like cherry tomatoes. But of course, the store didn't have actual cherry tomatoes, so I ended up getting an order of grape tomatoes and then like a mixed blend medley, which looks okay. It looks pretty good. But yeah, so he doesn't really like. There's nothing that he's requested a couple of dishes. Like he wanted to try macaroni and cheese, and he wanted to try chili, and
he swears he loves hamburgers
and hamburgers.
He's just as excited as the other kids. So I picked up the fun hobby or cooking experience of smoking stuff, and he was really excited. I guess smoked meat and stuff is very big in Brazil.
I guess I didn't hit on that.
Oh yeah, when I did the brisket,
yeah, you smoked the two chicken. He smoked a bunch of chicken, and oh my gosh, I think he ate like.
I was planning a lot of that going into the freeze dryer, and it did not make it.
No,
it did not.
Well, the kids killed it too. Like
the kids killed some of it, but
yeah, he definitely. You can tell that like.
And he's good at stripping all the meat off the bone. I'll give him. Like our kids do okay, but they said they were shocked by how bare those bones.
He was able to get it all off. Mm-hmm. Yeah. So yeah, I think it's going well overall. I mean.
Yeah.
I think 2 weeks. I think we were all kind of surprised at how quick the 2 weeks went because he got here on the 17th and.
Yep.
And
again, the first day of school was interesting because both of us were like, on one hand, like, oh, we really wish he'd stay for homeschooling and still be part of our family. But at the same time, that first day was nice. I mean, there was something. And
Swedish Compass was funny because she's like, I miss my brother.
Right.
He should be here. So.
Which, if nothing else, I mean, the best experience is proving to her how taxing public school can be. She didn't believe us when you have 2 to 3 hours of homework. I mean, granted, his English teacher, me and her are gonna have words because the first day of school you give him a 2 hour long project to finish. Thank you, no.
But yeah, like he has. So we've been warning Swedish Compass, who was interested in doing public school. We were like, you don't understand. You're definitely going to have homework pretty much every day. And it's going to be, all the different subjects. You're going to have homework from one or another every single day. And so I don't think she believed us. And I don't think she believed us that she'd have to get on the bus so early in the morning. And so she hasn't even seen him get on the bus yet because she's still asleep when he gets up and gets dressed and takes a shower and gets on the bus. So, and then, you know, at breakfast, she's like, well, where is he? And shocked that he's not here. And I think it's sinking in how much time he
much
spends
effort.
away and how much effort he has to put into this. And, you know, she was all like, yeah, I can do this. I want to do this. I want to go to public school. But she's done with schoolwork by noon, almost every day. And here we are just spending the rest of our afternoon doing, you know, she plays the guitar, she goes outside and hangs out with the animals, she, you know, reads books that she just wants to read, writes books. So I don't think she really fully appreciated what kind of time commitment going to public school would have been. And then, not to mention, he comes home and, I mean, this was only the first week of school. He had Friday off this week.
Yeah.
And he has had homework every day except Monday, maybe.
No, Monday he had that English one.
Oh, he did. So, no, Monday he had math.
Was it math? I thought
Yeah,
it was English.
Tuesday was the English one. And then, yeah, because then Wednesday he had more math and something else, science maybe.
Yeah.
So he has had 2 to 3 hours of homework every night easily. Plus practice for football goes until 6:30. So he doesn't come home even from the school until 6:30. And then he has 2 to 3 or more hours of homework, plus dinner and everything else. So yeah, he was up until almost 11:30
On Tuesday.
on Tuesday, I think, doing homework. And it's not like he came, he had football practice. He came home at 6:30, and I think we had dinner right away. Maybe he started working on his project before
A
dinner.
little bit before dinner, because there was a little bit of a delay because the coach lied to us.
Because we weren't ready for him so we were at farmer's market and he was at practice, and we thought he'd be done at practice at 5:30. So Yuba Farmer thought he'd have time to get home and start dinner, and turns out 5:30 turned into 6:30, and of course we were at the farmer's market and couldn't get home.
Couldn't get home.
So
Well, you did make it home before me because
yeah,
you
and
had
we
started
did.
dinner. So.
Yes. So, yeah, that was, you know, so there was a delay. So he had time to start that and still didn't finish it because it was such a big project.
Yep.
And he did. And he spent a good portion of the evening. And, like, I offered to help him. I helped him a few times. And so did Swedish Compass and
Wild and Free Wolf.
Wild and Free Wolf. I'm sure that they were as much help as they were a distraction.
Oh, I'm sure.
But yeah, he was up until 11:30 doing homework, and I hope that's not the norm. Like, I hope that does not become the normal thing. I'm for that reason, I'm happy football is only this first little bit of
First
school.
month and a half or so.
First 2 months maybe, because if he's gonna have that much homework, he won't be able to keep up with it.
Yep. Well, one thing, I don't know, I'll put it in the video here so, you know, in 6 months to a year we can review this. So the program really only wants him to contact his family and friends in his host country. We're supposed to give him 1 hour, 1 day a week on a specific day, a specific time. And we both admitted, we even told him we can't do that. That's not fair to his mother. That's not fair to him. That's so we'll see, because he was kind of on that night that went till 11 o'clock midnight was maybe talking
I think he was a little distracted on his phone.
So we're gonna see how we might have to put the screws in that here in a little bit. But he still finished everything. He still was in a good mood. He wasn't.
No, he wasn't grumpy. He gets up at like 5:45, 6 a.m. to get up and get ready for school. He does. So, and that I don't know if we're ever going to figure out. If we are just go, and we just move faster than most
The
people.
average person.
Or if Brazilians take their time.
Yep. So when we went to Mackinac, we even told the kids the night before we were going to go to Mackinac City, which it's kind of a fun trip. I mean, the kids know what that means. They know that means, let's
We
leave
usually
early.
get up at 6 or well, we're
7,
usually out the door by 8.
By 8, but 8's and they all 8 o'clock rolled around and they were starting to get their shoes on, and well, no, your Brazilian brother's not exactly ready yet, and there's some other stuff we have to do. So we didn't get out until 11:30.
I think it was 11.
It was really
but,
it was
yeah,
11.
it was
but
late for us because we normally we take lunch with us, and we are in town for a few hours.
Yeah,
in Mackinac for a few hours.
We run through the classic, the Enchanted Nights, the game store.
And usually we're at Michilimackinac before lunch starts.
Yep, and usually have lunch at Michilimackinac, whether it's in the driveway or that nice little rest, the
One
small
of the
fort.
rest stops or the small fort or
small
the
fort,
playground or whatever. We eat there, and we didn't even make it to Mackinac before we pulled over for lunch, and it was 1 o'clock.
Yeah.
And so we pulled over at a rest stop, nice rest stop actually. A little scary because there was a lot of caution tape on the walls there.
There was some erosion going on.
Yeah, so we pulled over at a rest stop, which we have never had to do. We've pulled over at rest stops before, but we've never had to pull over at a rest stop to eat without it being a planned, we're going to eat here. So that was new. And even the kids, I think, were a little wait, why is Dad pulling over?
Yeah, right.
Um,
And I pulled over the wrong rest stop. I'm kicking myself. I thought that was the one you could see the bridge from, but it was the next one.
Yeah, well, it was the next one. So we pulled over at that rest stop. We're sitting there. We eat lunch. We get back in the car. But it is he just takes.
He's a little slower to get up and go, and takes a little extra time.
I mean, I'm a Native American, and he definitely runs on Indian time,
That's true.
a Native
That's
time.
true.
It is. It starts at 1, and 1:10, everybody's getting ready to go. That is how grand entry usually happens at the powwow. Native Americans are grand entries at 1 o'clock, and at 1:30 the drums all start, and you see the dancers. So he definitely fits in that regard, but our family doesn't tend to do that. So we say it's time to go, and the kids are in the car, everybody's ready to go, and he's still out. A lot of times everybody's in the car buckled up, and I don't know if he's being polite waiting for me before he gets in the car and buckles up or not, if that's just his thing. But I get in the car, I buckle up, and all the kids are buckled up, and he's not buckled up yet. And there's been a couple times where I didn't realize he wasn't buckled and just started to go, and I'm oh, sorry, stop. No, I have a big thing, you have to be buckled before the car moves. And he's finally getting that he needs to buckle his seatbelt before he does other stuff in the car. But he seems, I don't want to say he's slow, because I don't mean that he's slow. He's just, there's a lot of things. Yeah, deliberate. He's very deliberate. I've taken him shopping a few times, and because he's from a much warmer climate, and he needed warmer clothes, and every store I think I've gone to, it's been a 1 to 2 hour or longer excursion for a sweater or 2 sweaters and a pair of pants. He's very deliberate in his purchases. He doesn't just buy something willy-nilly, and he's very careful with how he's spending his money, which is great.
That's good. That does fit in our family very well.
That actually fits in our family very well. But yeah, but we're not used to being that.
He's deliberate. I like the word deliberate.
Yeah, deliberate. That I want to say cautious is actually what I want to say. He's very careful with everything he buys, which is great. But we're usually careful, and I think it's because we live here and everything's so familiar, and he doesn't, and it's not all familiar. So yeah.
We probably should. So this is Labor Day weekend. We're just recording this on the cusp of Labor Day weekend.
Yep.
I was going to say go to Marquette on Monday, but that's kind of we have farmers market. We were requested specifically to do the Labor Day market.
Which we don't have to.
We don't have to, but I think that would be advantageous for us. So I'm guessing on Saturday is probably when we want to head up.
Well, Saturday we're at the market too.
Yeah, but we've left after at noon on Saturday many a times to go to
Well,
Marquette.
I mean, it might be more advantageous to do mass on Saturday evening and go up on Sunday.
Go up on
morning.
Sunday. That's not a bad plan. But some of the crap that we like to do is either closed or closes early, so we have to thread that needle.
Yeah,
So.
but if we're not waiting to leave until afternoon,
Mm-hmm.
that's a little easier to thread that
Easier.
needle.
Mm-hmm.
So
But
anyway,
again, if we're not leaving,
okay.
just saying, we might not leave at 8 a.m. on Sunday to go up to Marquette as it is. So.
Right. I'm okay with not going up to Marquette this weekend and waiting another week.
I just figured it'd be. I mean, it's kind of a holiday weekend, something new.
But
Okay.
yeah, he's adjusting pretty well.
I think so.
I feel like he's doing well.
I mean,
feel
it'd be
like
interesting to actually talk to some of his teachers or people who see him at school, see how, like, is he actually doing well at school? He says he is, and.
well, he's got
100%.
100% in one class. He's got a B minus in the other.
You have
Which-
a report to fill out.
I did that actually.
Did
I
you?
did that today. I told you I was getting a bunch of stuff done today. Actually, today was a crazy busy day because we got the rabbit barn cleaned and
Rabbits and chickens.
the
And
rabbits and the chickens were all cleaned and stuff. And we got, I got all the schoolwork from the week graded. The kids finished. So we're doing a 4-day school week this year.
Mhm.
Because co-op is on Friday, and so the only things they have to do on Friday are what they didn't finish earlier in the week. So if they finish everything in 4 days, Friday is co-op, like that's it. If they didn't finish everything, then they'll have to do a little bit more on Fridays, which is fine. And a couple of them had a few holdovers that they didn't finish. We've had a busy week. Monday was off because it was you know, his first day of school, our exchange student's first day of school, plus, I don't know what his call sign is.
Brazilian
No.
Bashman. He doesn't really have one. Our youngest boy.
Our youngest son. So he had a
Youngest son.
speech therapy appointment. So Monday was off for us, so we didn't actually get through everything on Monday that we normally would have. So our week has been off, but because because our Brazilian guy is going to school, we're up and doing stuff active.
You're definitely the stereotypical homeschoolers. We don't
Yeah,
get up on the crack of dawn. And,
Well, the kids are always up. That's what's weird. The kids are always up at the same time anyway.
Yep.
But we don't rush to get everything going usually. But now we're up and, have breakfast made and stuff a little bit faster, like probably an hour faster.
yeah, I go an hour.
About an hour faster. So then we're, of course, doing everything else an hour sooner, which means we're getting done with that stuff a little bit sooner. Which I kind of like, actually.
Yeah, that is nice.
I kind of feel like our
Maybe we can keep that as
a standard,
standard
regular.
after.
Well, I think after a year of doing it, it might just become a thing.
Or we'll be so happy.
Oh, so happy not to
It's
do
not
it.
a thing.
Yeah.
So,
So, yeah, I think it's going good.
hopefully it's not a honeymoon period. Hopefully this is just the.
This is just the
The new
standard.
norm, yeah. But
Don't say new norm.
right, can't use that word.
Don't
anymore.
ever say that. No, but hopefully this is just kind of what it's going to be. Is pretty standard. He does seem a little bit attached to our family already. I think he was only here 2 or 3 days before he started calling us mom and dad, which was kind of cool.
It was creepy.
It was
It was sudden. It was very.
It was sudden,
very sudden.
because he specifically asked me when he was still in Brazil over WhatsApp. He's like, "What do I call you?" And that's probably that's a legitimate question. And so we said, well, you can call us by our given names. You can call us an aunt or uncle. You can call us mom or dad. You can call us a Brazilian version of aunt or uncle, mom or dad.
Yeah.
And so
Because I'm against actually calling someone mom and dad who are not your biological mom and dad. It's just been my thing, but so it's actually been quite an adjustment for me. I gotta admit.
It's interesting, and but kind of cool that he feels that comfortable. I didn't think he was going to be calling us that.
Yeah, kind of from the emails we got and some of the communication, it was just going to be our given names, and I was fine
and I
with
was
that.
fine with
That's-
that because that's
that's
But
your
I
thing.
think, and I don't know if it's because of the other kids in the house, it's just more natural, or if like he honestly was just that attached to us. But he,
He's already talking about. I don't know. Did you hear that? I don't know. You didn't. So it was on the drive home tonight. He's talking about trying to find and steal the cup. That is the cup that my brother keeps trying to steal. His goal is to find it, steal it, and take it back to Brazil with him. So we have to come and visit to steal it back. So
that's awesome.
yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, I mean, he's pretty attached to us. There's been a couple of times where we're like, he's got events with his football team, and he's like, no, I have to go home to
Gotta
be
go
with
home
my
to
family.
go eat because
Which-
they're gonna have dinner for me.
Yeah, which is kind of cool, but at the same time, I'm like, no, stay and play with your team, continue building
Right.
friendships, but he's very like, oh no, I'm ready to come home, and it might just be like, there's a lot of people on his team, a lot of
Well,
fast
we were
English
warned,
talkers.
yeah, that just being around, other people is very taxing at first.
Yeah, and we've made it very clear, like, and when he's here, he's got space. We're very big on personal space and being able to be alone, and so I think that does help here.
Yeah, definitely. Well, anyway, we're going on just under an hour, so unless there's any other topics you want to talk about 2 weeks into this, hopefully I can get this one. Maybe I'll get this one posted Monday. Who knows?
Well, and this will be interesting because when we do it again, it'll be like November. So we'll be preparing for Christmas.
Christmas and Thanksgiving. I have a hunch Thanksgiving is going to be eye-opener. I can't wait to see our Christmas Eve dinner. That one will be...
Oh, that'll be interesting.
We'll probably we'll have to buy him extra stomach meds for that one.
He has a suitcase full.
Perfect. So anyway, folks, I think we're going to sign off on this one. 2 weeks in, things are going good. Hopefully the 2-month one is just as positive. But yeah, hope everyone's having a good time. You're all doing well out there, staying safe, and we'll see you on the next one.